Hello guys, welcome to the Chaos Breaker deck profile for clan selection. This deck is pretty popular and very obviously well known. Chaos Breaker has a history in Vanguard for being a bit of a controversial unit at times, but it's very popular and I'm very happy that Chaos Breaker is back, so let's just jump right into it. So starting with the grade 3s, as you can see I do run 2 Nordstorm Dragon, which is actually has been a bit of a controversial card. There's been a lot of things said about people playing it or not playing it. Personally, I do like the card. I think that it's not like if you don't have it, you don't have to play it, or if you don't want to play it, you don't have to play it, obviously. But the card does its job. It can empty front row, and most importantly, it does give you counter charge, which is a resource that the deck does need. Chaos Breaker, obviously at 4 of, and is your main ride target. Because of other cards in the deck, you can get away with the 2 Nordstorm and still ride Chaos Breaker basically all of your games. So it's still a very consistent deck, even though you have 2 grade 3s that you don't want to ride. Alright, moving on to grade 2s. You may notice that it's a bit of a weird choice. If you haven't already seen many Chaos Breaker lists, it may look very weird. So we'll get the obvious ones done first, with Zirconium and Gravity Collapse. Gravity Collapse can superior ride into any of your grade 3s, and also on rearguard it will let Nordstorm proc if it is able to. So it's a nice, I guess, extension. It's not like the win con, it's not necessary to the deck, so if you don't have it, don't worry, but it is a nice card to have. Zirconium, very obvious, gets another lock on the board, gives your Vanguard crit. Great card. Now the weird card in this list is the vanilla with 15k shield. It's okay, so a lot of Link Joker's grade 2s are, I guess, deck restricted, like the Messiah ones or the Deleter ones, which are very obviously for Messiah and Deleter. As you can see, this is pure Chaos Breaker, so we kind of just have this spot where we need another grade 2. There is a grade 2 where it gets 10k if there's a face down card in a circle or in bind zone, I'm pretty sure it was, which you can run as well. I tested it, but I did prefer the 15k shield over that. So the grade 2s are kind of weird, but the 15k shield does actually come in handy a lot, especially because the opponent can potentially get force markers if you're not able to use Chaos Breaker to its full extent, like if you don't have a way to get rid of, to unlock and then relock, or anything like that on their turn, so you'll be giving them a force marker, so getting the extra shield is kind of nice. Grade 1s are actually, they were pretty easy for this deck. The only, the Craving Claw and White Dwarf are obviously going to be 4s. Great cards, I don't need to explain why. Barrel, I've seen people play not 4, but I personally think at 4 is the best way for the deck. It's, at worst, is a 10k shield. At best is keeping your opponent's field blocked, which is super important. Chaos Breaker does not play the same way that it used to, where it consistently locks all of the opponent's front row. If you can manage to lock both of the front row units, you're happy, but it's not to the same extent it was in G. So having an Omega lock is super useful. And the last grade 1, I've seen a lot of people use this slot as the Order, but I use it as the Cat. Either way, it's just a way to get soul, and the Order technically loses you 1 hand. This would lose you 1 hand if you want to use it just straight up. So it's pretty easy to use with this deck, and honestly, the extra 10k I do think comes in handy a lot. Triggers, very simple, 6 draw 6 crit. I have tested around with it. I think the draw is very useful because there are a lot of pieces in this deck that you want to hit. So having access to more things, even though Chaos Breaker does draw you cards, having more draws is just very nice.